It's here. We've made it.
We are here.
We're sorry for all the delays. We promise we'll be better the next few months. I think it'll be easier.
Yeah, there's been a lot of weird transitioning stuff happening the last couple weeks, and we have both been trying to get back into a schedule.
Yeah, it's been rough, but we're getting there. It has been like super eventful few weeks.
Yeah, I was gonna say, big news that happened. Champ's name is officially changed legally and all around aboard, so just Champ.
I am now Champ Champenstein, so hi, welcome. I'm Champ Champenstein.
It's permanent. This is Champ Champenstein. Get it right.
Funny, because I laughed so hard about, like, potentially being a Dr. Champenstein.
You know, I was telling Brayden about that last week when you were getting it done. I was like, oh, Champ, like, got their name officially changed. And Brayden was like, oh, yeah, what did they change it to? And I was like, oh, you know, just the same name they've been going by for years, Champ Champenstein. And he was like, Champ Champenstein, that's the name? Like, that's actually the last name? And I was like, yeah. And he's like, cool. Wasn't expecting that. Cool. And I was like, well, Champ. It's Champ. It's Champ.
Yeah, well, and it's just like, I didn't know what to do. And I was like, well, this seems like the easiest route to go. Yeah. Like, I don't care. But yeah.
Now you can do that whole thing.
I do care, but...
Yeah. When people ask, like, really? You can just be like, yeah, dude, look at my license. That's my real name. It's Champ Champenstein.
Yeah. Anyway.
Yes.
Exciting news here on the forefront.
Yes.
I'm happy to be here. I'm happy to have Heather here.
We're here.
We're going to talk about some comics, I guess.
Yes. And I am Heather.
Always.
And I'm going to talk about these comics.
Are you?
I'm going to try to.
Good luck.
Okay, so I have Locust. I almost said The Locust.
I was about to say, oh, that's a cool book about the Locust.
Locust, The Ballad of Men. This is issue number 2. This is the second part of the this Locust series. Basically, it's a post-apocalyptic book about a man trudging through the wasteland of America where all these people are turning into locusts. There's cults and all that kind of stuff, but in this part of the story, he had rescued a young girl.
You know what? I forgot you keep talking. I forgot the easel.
Oh, yeah. I can never remember what her name is, but he had rescued this young girl from a cult that was being run by someone that he used to know named Ford, who was like sacrificing these children and stuff to feed the locusts to like keep them alive. So he rescues this girl, and this is him and the girl just trying to stay alive. It's kind of like The Last of Us, except the girl's obsessed with pancakes. So I'm just gonna set that up there for just a minute. This is the Locust. There's a big explosion. He gets injured, and he's just trying to get back to where the girl is right now. That's all.
Boom, baby.
Scout, actually.
yeah. Scout, baby. All right, so I'm next. I have Night Eaters. I am going to hold this for a second so I can describe this to you, because I did not read all of it.
It's a big book.
Yeah, I just got about like a quarter of the way through. So Chinese-American twins Millie and Bobby are having a tough time. On top of the multiple failures of their personal and professional lives, they are struggling to keep their restaurant afloat. Luckily, their parents, Ipo and Keon, are in town for their annual visit. Having immigrated from Hong Kong before the twins were born, Ipo and Keon have supported their children through thick and thin and are ready to lend a hand. But they're starting to wonder, has their support made Millie and Billy?
I just, in my head, I was like, Millie Bobby.
Yeah. Damn you, Millie Bobby Brown. Millie and Billy incapable of standing on their own. And then Ipo, their mother, makes them help her clean up this really gross, overgrown house that's next door that has been abandoned for a period of time that they're trying to sell, but they can't sell. But there's something creepy about it. But this is the same team that does Monstrous, Majori Lu, and Sana Takeda. So yeah, if you like Monstrous, I really like this.
I really, when I was looking through it the other day, it looks really good.
Yeah, the art is great. The story was like the story goes pretty quick. Like I love Monstrous, but that story is just like so dense. There's so much going on. So it's nice to read something of hers that was like a little bit like lighthearted, I guess is not the right word, but there is like more funny moments in here, and like
it does say
without like so much like heft as Monstrous has.
Creepy and laugh out loud funny is 2 of the words used to describe this book. So never heard that about Monstrous.
No, not like that at all. I would highly suggest it. I mean, it's a nice little hardcover. It is $24.99. Nice little dust jacket. Though I hate dust jackets when I'm reading a book, I technically always take them off.
And again, it's a thick book. You're getting a lot. Oh yeah, that is cool.
I haven't taken this off actually. Oh, sick.
Let me see the back. Yeah. Oh,
so
love that.
This is it without the dust jacket.
Way cool.
Way cool. That's all I gotta say. Check it out or don't. Whatever you want to do.
Just do it. It's good.
It's Halloween time, so get it. Get some.
Get it.
Also, I will mention that this does like have pandemic references.
A lot of books nowadays do.
Yeah. So.
Yeah. Okay. The Great Pandemic of 2020. That's it, because it's no longer around. I don't know if anyone else has heard. Pandemic's over.
So next we have Hitomi. Heather, you take this away.
Okay. This is issue number 1. Your turn. No, I'm kidding.
I was like, really?
This is about a young girl in feudal era Japan who is kind of on the search for a samurai who killed her family but left her alive for some reason. It's just a revenge story, but this just starts it pretty much, where she's on her mission trying to find this samurai that she describes as having skin as black as beetroot. I just like that beetroot is the word that she uses to describe it, and it's like a constant thing throughout here. But yeah, it's going to be a revenge story. She's finding the man who killed her family.
Yeah, I really liked this first issue like quite a bit.
I did too.
It was really, really pretty. Like the art and the colors worked really well, and just it really drew you in really fast. Like you want her to succeed, but you also want to see like how this ends up not being exactly like it's going to be a revenge story, but not at the same time.
I do love, like, the art is obviously really good, but I love that it's a feudal era story with feudal era art. Like, I thought that was really cool. I am just going to show that so whoever watches the videos can kind of see. It's drawn in that same style, which I thought was a really nice touch to it. Yeah. And it is a really good first issue. It does a really good job of like bringing you in and introducing the characters and the plot and stuff, while obviously revealing that there's going to be way more to it than you would think originally.
Yeah, for sure. All right, are we ready for next?
Yeah, let's do next.
Next, we've got Earth Divers. This was a book that came out last week, but we had a bunch of damages. And I actually read this last week.
I did not. I saved it because I was like, I want to sit with it. I've been very excited to read this book. I love it's by Stephen Graham Jones, who I really, really like as an author. And so I was pretty excited about it. And I liked it. I liked it quite a bit.
Yeah, I did too. I really liked the art, and the colors. Some of the like shading was weird, but it didn't make it any less enjoyable.
Right.
I'm definitely intrigued to see what happens and like how they ended up here.
Yeah, so basically it's just a small group of natives who discover a way to travel back in time and change history to save Earth. Save America.
Yeah.
To save their America. By,
killing Columbus.
Killing Christopher Columbus. Yeah, I really did like this too, because it introduces the idea without explaining how did they figure this out, like, exactly.
Yeah, so, no, it's kind of confusing, and it like they don't explain how any of them come together or like any of those aspects, so you're kind of left with like you have pieces and you can see how their relationships are now, and like you wonder like, has it always been this way, or like what I don't know, stuff to explore, stories to build.
Yeah, and Stephen Graham Jones is really good at like building stories like that. I'm so excited. It's going to be great. All right, I have. It's not bad. It's not bad. It's just it's so boring, and I don't know if it's just like I'm over it, you know, or if this actually was boring because I like Craven. I think Craven's cool as hell. This is X-Force, by the way. This is issue number 32. This is a Judgment Day crossover. Basically, the mutants are off doing their thing, and Craven is infiltrating Krakoa to find someone to kill so he can take home a prize. Yes. But he gets into it with Omega, and it's very. I don't know how to describe it. I was bored. For one, I don't really care about Craven in this aspect because I'm reading X-Force because I want to read about the team X-Force. Yeah. I do like that they brought Omega into the X-Force to like fight with them and stuff. I think he was a really cool addition to it. So anytime that he is in this doing something with them as a team, I'm like, cool. He can be redeemed. See, this is how you're supposed to do it. Instead of just throwing them into a hole. But I don't know. Deadpool's in this too, which if you know me at all, I could give a shit less about Deadpool. I don't care for him, and I don't care that he's in this story.
I don't care for him. I don't care for Deadpool.
I love all my kids equally, but I don't care for Deadpool. But yeah, I was just kind of bored. I really, thinking back, especially at the beginning of this X-Force series, like I loved, like the first 19 issues before the pandemic, and then it went on that long hiatus. I loved that whole half of the story, but everything since then, like, has just been kind of boring. Yeah. I have not really been interested, and that's part of the reason why I did drop Wolverine. Was the same thing. Like, and I did think that the issue that I dropped it after, like I've said before, despite the fact that there were so many things that were left open, was a great ending to it. It was good. That's it. That's all you got to do. And this just feels like they don't really know what else to do with it. And maybe that's just how I'm reading it because I don't know.
Well, I mean, there's a lot going on. There's a lot of X books. Like,
and there is in this one too. Like Craven's just going around Krakoa, just like killing mutants and shit, and he gets rid of all of the husks, like all the eggs that were incubating, pretty much. He goes through and just kills them all. Yeah, because he's like, I'll show them who's Mr. Big Boss now. And that leads to one of my favorite things. It's not a mutant. It was never alive. It's raw materials, protein. It's gonna go to waste. Let me eat it. Gross. Thought that was really funny. But yeah. And Beast is obviously just like a piece of shit in this.
Yeah, sounds right.
How he is. He speaks very highly of himself in this issue, and I know it's nothing to it. So yeah, that was X-Force. I don't dislike it. I'm just kind of bored by it at this point.
Yeah. Understand. Yeah. I get it. Like, yeah, that's exactly why, we jumped off Wolverine. And that's, I don't know, I feel like that's Ben Percy's thing. No
starts off very strong. Yeah.
And then it just kind of like whittles down. You're just like, oh.
And I like the books, like the actual novels that I've read by him. Like, I think they're great. But I think that's like, there's like an idea, and then it ends and you don't have to go any further with it. But then when you keep having to like build story arc after story arc, I can see it. Like, it makes sense. And I do like Benjamin Percy as a writer, but I'm just kind of bored.
I get it. I just realized this book was $5.99.
Oh, shit.
Yeah.
I did not know that either.
God damn. Anyway, this is Batman vs. Robin. This is a little book that's spun out of the Batman Superman World's Finest. So all of those books are in like a weird continuity, with World's Finest being like in the past. Okay. So this is happening in the future. This is happening after Alfred has passed away. Here, the devil Nezha has been resurrected via Lazarus pit situation, and has turned Damien against him. And there's a little twist at the end. I do enjoy this book, but there is going to be like a spin out event. Oh, God, it's Lazarus something, but I don't want it.
I get that. There's too many events that are just happening all the time.
Yeah, it's like I like this book and I like World's Finest, but I don't want to go beyond that.
Yeah. There's too many Batman books.
Yeah, and it's just like I really like the ideas behind it. I really actually super loved how like this book was connected with World's Finest, and like the like tie back to that book. I like that. I enjoyed it a lot, but yeah, I can't do another event. I feel like I'm really enjoying acts, but it's also just like events are exhausting.
Mm-hmm. Well, because there's so many other like tie-ins that you have to get to, like, and they make it seem like you have to get all of them to like get the full picture, and it's like just do it in like 4 books.
Yeah, and I think this event is like potentially I think a series of like one shots, something like that, which I also don't like. It's just like just give me a small like 4 issues like that are all connected, 1, 2, 3, 4. It doesn't matter. Anyway, I do like Batman vs. Robin. The art and colors are great. I liked this issue a lot. Just Batman and Alfred end up going to the House of Secrets and learning basically all of the stuff I just said about that was happening with Damien. Okay. But yeah, I don't know. That was a rant.
I liked that first one a lot. I just haven't gotten around. Obviously, I don't work at the shop anymore, so it's hard for me to just pick up books off the wall and read them. I've been meaning to read that one.
Yeah, and if you want to borrow this one from me, you can. Okay. It's good. Yeah, there's too many Batman books, and like I said, I just realized that was $5.99. I was like, oh, no wonder I'm spending so much money at the shop. Holy shit!
For a Batman book, when there's like 12 other Batman books out,
and they're all $4.99.
Yeah,
to like $7.99.
I can't.
Okay, so next we're gonna complain about other books. This is Namor, Submariner.
Conquered Shores, Part 1. This is a lot. This is issue number 1. It's a new miniseries. There's going to be 5 issues for this one. This one says December 2022.
That's not right.
That's wrong. Everything is not right. So this takes place in the future. The Kree have melted all the ice caps, and pretty much the entire world's underwater except for like a small area. So there's like humans that are living on land, and then the majority obviously of the world is underwater, and so Namor is acting as like a liaison between the royal family, which he is no longer king. He just kind of moves back and forth between the land people and the sea people and tries to keep peace.
Not going very well.
No, it's not going very well, because he says multiple times he is not a diplomat.
Yeah.
I am no longer a king and never was a diplomat. He looks great as an old man, but the art is just kind of weird in this book.
Yeah, that art wasn't my favorite. The story, while intriguing, wasn't that strong. I don't know. There's something about Namor that I really, really enjoy, but I feel like he has to be just like more blunt and edged.
Yeah, like him in Invaders was like perfect, especially when he's interacting with Captain America. Like I know that this is at some point in the future, so things have changed, whatever. But no, I definitely agree.
Well, with that. Yeah, so not bad. I probably won't keep reading it just because I'm whittling down my pull file and the stuff I just kind of enjoy and want to talk to you about.
Yeah, I think I am going to keep reading it just because I love Namor. And
that's fair.
I don't know. I kind of have the same feelings though. Like it was fine. Like I enjoyed it just fine.
I feel like maybe the second issue, like, you know, it could just not be I mean, comics are like that, you know, the first issue sometimes isn't the best, and like the rest of the issues are like really, really great.
Especially a lot of like Marvel characters that they're doing these kind of stories about. But I do love Namor, and I like old gray-haired Namor, so I'll give it a try. I'll stick with it.
Okay.
All right. I have Axe Eternals. This is a one-shot tie-in to the Axe event. This one-shot is Ajax, or Ajax. I can never remember. Of the Ajax. Of the Eternals being judged.
All right.
That's it.
Yeah.
That's it. I was not a fan of the art, which, funny that. Same artist.
Yeah. No, I was actually thinking that after we started talking about that book, the Namor book as well.
Just put it together. So yeah, the art, same as I felt about the Namor book. And this book is damaged. I don't care. Whatever. But yeah, it's just Ajax being judged. It takes place after... Well, shoot. It doesn't say. I'm assuming it's going to be taking place after the X-Men Axe event that happened last week?
Yes, last week.
Yeah, because this takes place, like, directly after the stuff with, like, Jean Grey.
All right.
So, I just didn't... It's fine. It's fine as a one-shot. You know, it was interesting to see, especially, like, a priestess's point of view during the whole thing of their god being a piece of shit and all that kind of stuff. Like, it was cool.
Yeah.
But I also just, like, I don't understand why they're picking the specific characters they are to do the judgments on and have one-shots about.
Yeah, like, they're not intriguing enough.
Yeah. It's a little confusing for me, but, I mean, it's not necessary to read for the story.
Yep. But I feel like these one-shots have kind of been like that in general.
Yes, which I wish I had known about ahead of time. Like, I feel like the Star Fox one was a little more important to it because it kind of explains what...
Yeah, where they go.
Yes, and, like, what the plan is going to be moving forward.
Yeah.
But even then, like, they could have just,
They'll probably end up throwing that in one of the acts.
Right.
I feel like that is in one of the acts.
They kind of mention it in here. I think it was in this one, or might have
because I thought they put it in number 5 too. I mean, I don't know. We'll find out. We'll get there.
Either way, yeah. The one shots for Axe are not detrimental to the Axe Judgment Day storyline.
Yeah,
that's all I wanted to say.
Smart, good thinking.
Yes.
All right, so I will quickly talk about Daredevil. This is issue number 3, 4. This is issue number
4.
I mean, not really. But I don't want to get into that right now. It doesn't matter. This is issue number 4 of Daredevil. Elektra and Daredevil are having a ceremony to become part of the Fist, and Daredevil explains the whole situation of Frank Castle being I don't know, lover of monsters.
Okay.
Yeah, it wasn't a bad issue. I'm interested. Like, I just want to see the story, like, where it's going. I need more. Give me more, Chip. I do like it. I like the art this issue. Who was it? Who was the artist? I remember looking this up. Rafael de la Torre.
De la Torre.
Yes. So yeah,
it does look really good.
Yeah.
I like the colors for it a lot.
Matthew Wilson does the colors.
Oh, we love him.
Yeah, it looks good. Detective Cole is there with them. So we'll see.
Okay.
Taking on the Hand.
All right.
Taking on Frank Castle.
The Fist and the Hand.
Yeah, I'm just
the names.
I'm really interested too to see how, like, Punisher and Daredevil eventually, like, get kind of tied into each other. Though there isn't an event of that going on.
Jesus Christ.
Well, I mean, they announced their event list on, like, NYCC, and it's how Marvel always does it. It's like one event, the other one, another one, and it's like, why? Just like,
I feel like I did see something about that, but you know what? I just like to be surprised.
it's like, why are you doing so much?
Yeah,
It's just like, you can just do, like, one event, and then you can call it good for, like, 6 months to a year.
I was gonna say, like, one a year.
Yeah, it's
for the sake of your people.
Well, that's the exciting thing. That's the whole point of an event, is that it's like an exciting, cool thing. If you continually have like a party every week,
it loses its edge.
Yeah, it loses its fun. Like you're just, and then people somehow are still coming to the party, but then those people suck.
That's fair, yeah. Yeah.
So I don't know if that's a good analogy. But
I thought it was.
That's the one I'm going to use.
Because I thought about all the parties that I went to in high school where by the end of it I was like, I'm tired of this. I'm tired. I don't want to do this anymore. I don't like when people pull out acoustic guitars.
Oh, so relevant. All right, so talking about more event stuff, we've got Axe, Death to Mutants.
I do, like I've said, I like this event quite a bit. I like that there are several different perspectives that we get from this one situation and how they're all handling it.
Yeah, and I mean, this issue just kind of touches on all the things that have been happening more than anything else. It's not... I guess it also delves into, like, what's going on with the computer. But really, it's...
Yeah, and Star Fox is explained his whole power position now. Yeah, I really liked this issue. Like I said, when I was reading the Phastos stuff and like getting to the end of it, it like, because he is the most human out of all of the Eternals. Like I think him and Icarus, the way that they deal with things, and
yeah, I can see that. That's Axe. That's the Eternals.
Yeah, Axe for you.
So then we have Immortal. I almost said Immortal Hulk. This is Immortal X-Men. This is issue number 7. This is also a Axe tie-in.
It's just, every issue of Immortal, they just do a different X-Men that's on the council, and this one is a Nightcrawler one, and the events that were happening in number 5, I believe Judgment Day number 5,
or like during, after,
like around that time period, like the decisions that were made, why he did the things that he did, blah, 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 blah. Oh, this is the Nightcrawler cover that Champ was a peach and grabbed for me.
I'm always a peach.
We love him.
Never forget.
I think out of any of the looks that he has had, he looks the most like a pirate here.
Oh yeah, no, he looks like super like a pirate.
Yeah, it cracks me up. But yeah, that's Immortal. It's just Nightcrawler's point of view.
You go ahead, because that's the last Judgment Day book we've got.
And then this is, another tie-in. This is the Iron Fist one.
This is an embarrassment how much we just, like, complained about this shit, and then we've got all of these.
Well, and what's funny is I was very confused when I got this, because I was like, I didn't get, like, any of the other ones except for, like, the main ones. Like, I did Eternals, I did X-Men, and then I did Star Fox. Those were the tie-ins, but I felt like, because those are characters that I really enjoy, I have never read...
Yeah, I thought it was weird when it popped for you, but it did.
Yeah, never read an Iron Fist story once in my life. But then I started reading it, and it's a Loki story, so it all made sense then.
Checks out.
Yes. So basically, Iron Fist and Loki get judged in this one, which... this was such a fun issue. Like, I read this and was like, I kind of want to read Iron Fist now, not just because of Loki, but just the story in general. Like, it just seems like such a fun character. It was great. But basically, Loki passes, which killed me because his whole judgment process was just him sitting there watching memories that have happened, like events that have already taken place, where he throws Thor into like freezing cold water and lets him sink and like drown and stuff, and he's like, I'm not going to do anything differently. Like, I'm not changing what I did. Like, I know what you're trying to do, and I'm doing everything exactly the same.
Yeah.
It was fun. It was a very fun issue.
All right, well, I have The Approach. This is issue number 1. This is a book by Jeremy Hahn, Jason Hurley, Jesus Hervaz, Leah Caballero, and Brett Wedeldy. I'm sure you have a regular last name. Sorry, my dude.
Wedeldy?
Wedeldy.
Wedeldy. Yeah, Wedeldy.
I just am going through names. It's written by Jeremy Hahn and Jason Hurley. The illustration is by Jesus and Leah The colors are by Brett. And then Ed Dirkshire does the words. The letters. Jesus.
The words.
This was not my favorite first issue. It felt... I mean... I think I'm being too harsh. When I think back on it, it kind of reminds me of a... like, early 50s sci-fi movie. Or like a Twilight Zone episode.
I am actually going to look at it because I haven't even had a chance to look
at
it.
Yeah, the art and everything, like the art and colors are fantastic.
Yeah.
Like I'm intrigued by the characters. I don't know why I didn't like it. There's something that just like didn't hit for me. But when I take it into a different like perspective, I'm like, oh, I guess I kind of like it a little more. But yeah, just a little airport in the middle of nowhere is facing like one of the worst winter storms they've ever have faced. They end up having a plane land, having a bunch of people kind of have to stay the night, and then another plane ends up crashing on the I don't know where planes land, the tarmac.
Yeah. Runway,
there we go. And they find some bodies in there. They take one of the bodies out before the plane explodes, and then stuff happens.
It kind of
so I was like, it kind of feels like a Twilight Zone episode, or like
it kind of had the same feeling sci-fi. Of like The Thing, or like without the whole vampires, but 30 Days of Night, like just the atmosphere of it.
Yeah, I didn't hate it. I think I need a second issue more than anything to like really know how I feel about it. It's just like
Okay. I mean, that's fair. That's a very fair approach to that kind of story.
And I also don't like reveals like that at the end. So I feel like I'm coming out of this like the same way I did with the first issue of Something is Killing the Children, where I'm like, I don't know about that.
It reminds me of those kind of endings when I was watching Hellraiser last night. One of my least favorite things in like horror movies that I see so many and it irritates me every time, when there's a car that goes off a ditch, hits something, screen fades to black. Just immediately just like black.
Yeah.
I hate that. Every single, because that's, especially if no one is injured, like when the screen comes back, there was no point for that.
Yeah, you could just let me see it.
It reminded me of that in a way. Like the feeling that I got reminded me of like that sort of feel where it's just like, okay, but like, why did you do that?
Yeah. I don't want it right now. I think that's the thing. It's like, I think if it would have built like the atmosphere more of like there being something weird about this particular body, but I don't. And that's the same reason I didn't like that first issue of Something is Killing the Children. I didn't like that like jump to like reveal like this is the thing. And it's like, oh, I don't want to know now.
So if it would have like ended with the bed being empty,
then
that,
I can see the next issue kind of building upon that, and then the reveal,
right? Yeah, I do feel like it was too much too soon.
Yeah. So anyway, I liked it. We'll see where it goes.
We'll see.
So we both have Love Everlasting. This is issue number 3. This one has a giant print damage.
Oh no.
It was really funny. I opened it and I was like, what?
Oh yeah, I was like, mine didn't. I don't remember seeing that.
Did a bird poop on this? I was like, no, this is definitely a print damage. This just continues Joan's story. She's been hiding out somewhere trying to get away from the man in the black mask. This kind of reminds me of like Westworld in a weird way.
Kind of, yeah, because it's like she's moving through time
and like stories.
Yeah. I do enjoy it quite a bit because there was like a bit of a twist in here that I was not expecting.
Yeah, no, I was not ready for that.
Yeah, it kept it very exciting. It was fun. I love the storytelling of it. The art, beautiful.
Yeah, I really do like the storytelling of it. Like, I get that it's confusing, but it feels confusing and clear. Like, I think especially as you like get into the second and third issue, and you kind of have an understanding about like, I'm just gonna call him like that she's running away from this man in black, like sort of character, and he like continually chases her. So I don't know. I really like it, and I do think it's worth a read.
I very, very much like it, especially after the first issue where you had like 3 or 4 different stories in one, and it was like, what the hell is going on here? But then the second issue was just one particular point in time where she's in this story, and then this is like another one, and it like evolves the story within the story. It is superb.
Yeah, this is actually a really good one.
Yeah.
Thanks, Tom King.
Yeah, you're giving us a good one, friend.
You do it every once in a while.
Yeah.
So this is Do a Powerbomb. This is issue number 5. I don't know. You put yours in there.
Speaking of good storytelling, someone who hits every time.
Yeah. Daniel Warren Johnson is always just brilliant. The story is no different. You get the reveal you've kind of been waiting for this whole time, and then you get a little more that you're not expecting.
It just keeps going.
Yeah. This issue was really, really great. I don't know, like, because the matches are kind of ending now, and we're gonna kind of see who ends up getting to bring their loved one back to life, and I don't know. I'm not ready for the next couple issues.
No, it's gonna be hard, especially with the way that this one did end with like the reveal that's happening, and then the event that's going on. Of course, I read all the author's notes again, and there always is one that makes me cry.
Yeah.
But I also did notice that at the end of every issue, Daniel Warren Johnson recommends a wrestling match.
Oh,
which I didn't realize. Yeah, because I didn't read. Like, I do read his responses sometimes, but for the most part, I just read the letters. And at the end of every single one, he obviously says he's like, I did a ton of research for Do a Powerbomb, and a big part was watching a ton of Japanese women's matches, specifically from AJW. I'm not sure what that means. But every single time, he will leave a recommendation for a wrestling match for you to watch that will kind of feels the same, which I thought was really cool.
Yeah, that's really awesome.
Yes.
I love that.
And then this is the one that made me cry. My father passed away in 2020 and left a huge void in me. When I read Do a Powerbomb #1, I cried a lot, and I felt like I was by his side once again, like we were screaming, watching The Undertaker do a tombstone pile driver. And reading this book reminded me of that phrase that there are magical moments in life when we are reunited with our loved ones who are no longer with us. Today you have reunited me with my father.
Yeah, I read that one because I skimmed to see which one.
Yes, fucks me up every time.
I think that's like, it's something we've talked about every single time, especially because there's always like a letter like that in those books. It's just like, there's something that like he connects really well about his stories and being very like human, even though they're over the top. Like, they can be over the top, but like they have just such heart and just real people eyes.
Yes.
So I'm excited. I don't know what's gonna come in the future here in the next couple issues, and I'm like excited to see how it ends, but I'm also just like
it's gonna fuck us up. There are 2 issues left.
And the last 2 issues of like Murder Falcon are really what really got me.
Those are the only 2 I have left. I've been putting it off this whole time because I'm like, I can only read one at a time.
Those last 2 were rough. And then I should give you that little like Skybound short story, because that also, like, that was like 3 pages, and that ruined me.
God damn it. Okay.
It just like absolutely like ruined me. I was like, damn, dude, it's like 4 pages.
Yeah.
How did you just fuck me up in 4 pages?
Like, reaches inside you and just
hey, you remember this memory?
God, very specific memory.
Anyway, now we've got Once and Future. This is issue number 30. This is it. This wraps up end of an era, if you will. Or maybe. We'll see.
I loved this ending. It was very, very satisfying.
Yeah, this was like, I don't think I could have thought of a like better ending for this book. And it's funny because, we've been talking about being ready for it to be done, and I've been really excited to read this last issue, but I was just like, it was so bittersweet because I was like, actually, I don't want this to be done. I don't want to like miss these characters or like not see them again. So that was like a really interesting aspect of finishing that book. And there was just, I think there were really good aspects of the book where it's a lot about family and like how you interact with your family and the things you do for your family, and no matter how kind of separated you are. And that was something that I kind of continually forgot about in the book until this issue, where I was like, I know that I've been reading this and I've been taking this all in, but this is something I haven't, like, I don't know.
It's really easy to get lost in the actual storytelling aspect of Once and Future, because Kieran Gillen did that kind of stuff with Die as well. Like, you forgot at its heart, like, what the story was about until, like, the last few issues. And then it was like, wait a minute, this is not just some, like, fantasy world that we're in. Like, this is an actual, like, real life, like, family story. Like, it's deep and it hurts and it feels good at the same time. But I don't know. The stories were just weaved so well within the plot line that it was, easy to get lost in it.
Yeah. And I just like how all the threads came together, how everything, I don't know. I was really worried how the ending would hit or like what would happen. And I think this is a really good example of like a story where you don't have, I mean, you lose somebody, but you don't lose somebody that's like not lost already.
Yeah. God, sorry, that page always fucks me up.
Yeah.
It's so good.
So yeah, it was just, I think I loved Kieran's note at the end too. I love how he thanked everybody on the book, because I do think like each and every person who worked on this book is like what made it so good. Because like there wasn't an aspect of the book I didn't love. Like nothing about it was bad. And like, I know we've said this from like every single issue of fucking Once and Future, but like Dan Mora and Tamara, like their color, like the art and the colors together are just so fucking brilliant. And like Kieran says, it like brings the world to life, and it really is what like draws you into the story. It's just they deserve their roses, because this book is fucking just phenomenal. It's so good.
I will continue recommending this book to anybody I can. It's, I think I've said this every time, this is my favorite book. this is my favorite book, and I think it will continue being my favorite until I die. It's just so good.
Yeah, no, like, I don't disagree.
There were, and I know we have mentioned this with like several of the issues, where a lot of it felt like it was kind of dragging, but then you got to the end, and that's what like moved it to the next issue. And I think going back and like reading it story arc by story arc, I think would just be so rewarding. Yeah. That's what I'm going to do. I'm going to go back and reread this, because aside from like the first story arc, I have not gone back and like reread the issues.
I don't think I have either.
I only reread the first one because I got that hardcover, and I was like, I'm going to peel it open and I'm going to feel what it feels like when I read it. But then I never got past the first one because I was reading all the new issues. So it's a fantastic, beautiful book. Could not have picked a better team to do it.
Yeah, no, it's definitely going to be in my favorites for a long, long time.
I am so glad they decided to go beyond 6 issues.
Oh, I know. That's I don't know how they could have made the story just 6 issues. Like I don't think it wouldn't have worked.
I still would have loved it, but not the amount that I'm grossly like obsessed with this book and what they did with it, and it's just so beautiful. So beautiful. What a good book. What a good story.
All right, well, that's all we've got for this week. So thanks for listening. We're gonna do last week and get it done, and then you'll see us again in like however you watch this.
All right, be in your hearts.
Go support local comic book shops, your local libraries, your friends, people you know. Just take care of yourself in general, and we'll see you on the flip.
Love you.
Do you?
No.